I wonder, have you ever felt like it's got to be more to life than this? Got to be more to this. I mean, this just can't be all. It can't be this where I am. And then you turn on the television and there's the Hollywood life. It's like, because people do tend to think that that life is real without realizing you're looking at a script. These are real people, but we don't see that part. We just see our lives. And some people just see our life and their life and think, is this it? And if that's the way you do it, if that's the way you see life, you certainly will be discouraged enough to give up. Or discouraged, yeah, I mean, not end your life. I'm not saying give up like that, but you're certainly discouraged enough to just say, look, this is all it is. What's the point trying? Let me get a hoagie and a grape soda, lay on this couch, watch TV till I fall asleep, and that becomes the routine until it's over. I know that's not you. But you know some people who are like that. Yes, you do. So one of the reasons, let's get back on one of the reasons that we don't have what we want is because we don't know what we want. Let's move into the second reason, the honest and truly number 2. Remember I said there were 3 reasons you don't have what you want, you don't know what you want, you don't know what you want, you don't want to know what you want. Okay, that all goes under number 1. This is honestly like the second reason that you don't get what you want, even when you pray for it. Write this down, because you're asking for the unicorn. You're asking for the unicorn. And I wrote a piece on that, and I think I'm going to up the date on move the distribution date on that a little bit closer since we're talking about it. But when you're asking for the unicorn, you already know where I'm going with this. There's no such thing as a unicorn. It does not exist. Walt Disney has a pretty good looking unicorn, right? It's a horse with like this one horn, and it's an absolutely beautiful animal, perfectly formed, and I think it even has a rainbow tail or something, but maybe not. But it has the atmosphere around this unicorn usually has twinkling stars, and everything is moving quite beautifully. The thing about it is, it's not real. It's just imagination. So the reason that we don't get what we want sometimes because we are asking for the unicorn. We're asking for something that does not exist in the reality of the human experience. You'd be surprised at what people are asking for because they're not realistic about it. They ask for unreal things. Let me give you, this is like a silly example, but it makes the point perfectly clear. I am an animal lover. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm an animal lover. I love animals, everything except insects and rodents. I'm specifically a dog lover. More specifically, a Great Dane lover. So I am so in love with Great Danes that I rarely see other breeds. I know breeds. I follow the American Kennel Club, and I know every time they bring a new breed in, and I can see a breed, and I can tell you pretty much anyone that goes down the street. I can tell you what it is. But my real heart belongs to the Great Dane. I've had Great Danes, and I do hope to have 1 or 2 more before it's all over. But here's the thing. Great Danes do exist. But to just illustrate what I'm trying to tell you about asking for the unicorn, and I want you to listen to my story, you make the appropriate analogies in your life. I love Great Danes. So the average size of a Great Dane may be somewhere around 30 inches at the shoulder. Sometimes they could get a little bigger. So my Great Dane in my mind, the one that I would imagine would be 45 inches at the shoulder. Born with cropped ears. No physical health issues at all. And I'm thinking, God, please give me this dog that will live 30 years. Ears naturally cropped. They eat, the one that will eat 1/2 as much as the normal Great Dane. This is what I want so much. And I'm praying for this. And I kind of really would. And above all things, when I pray for this dog, I want one that doesn't poop. That dog does not exist. The Great Dane does exist, and I see it in my head, but the attributes and the other things that I have ascribed to it and asked for makes it an impossible thing to have. You're not going to find a Great Dane that's 45 inches at the shoulder. It's not happening. If you did, he's still going to poop. So there's no such thing as the animal that I have been asking for. I hope you're laughing and saying that's silly. But you know what? That is no more silly than some of the things that you ask for and don't get. Because it's not realistic. You're asking for the unicorn. And the unicorn only exists in Disney's imagination and in ours. When we ask for something, it's our responsibility to understand what is realistic and what isn't. We tell our children when they're growing up, you can be anything you want. You can be president of the United States if you want. I would not suggest that you not tell the child that, but I would suggest that you tell the child more than that. First of all, everybody can be the president of the United States. I mean, the president gets 4 years, think they can do 2 terms of 8 years, go out, So, I mean, it's not that many years around for everybody to be president. So that's the first realistic thing to look at. And there is a life path that goes with everything. And we pick the president, an astronaut, whatever. There's a life path that goes there. So when we are encouraging our children to be anything that they want to be, we have to kind of hear what it is and steer them in the direction that is appropriate for them so that they can be the best that they can be, the best person that they can be, that they can manifest their highest and best self. That's what we want. That's what we want. So we want to make sure that we are asking for ourselves that which is realistic. What do we have a natural inclination toward? What do we lean toward? Folks that I know, they just kind of laugh at me if they've known me for a long time because I don't cook well. I don't cook well because I don't like cooking. Now, if it's something that I, like holidays or whatever, I'll do my little thing. But as a rule, very unappealing thing for me. It is highly unrealistic for my husband to pray that I open a restaurant. You understand? Because it ain't going to happen. It's not happening. I don't want it. We have to be realistic about what we're asking for. If you're asking for a person to come into your life, a partner, husband, wife, whatever, you want to make sure that that which you're asking for really does exist. Not something that you've drummed up in your head, a fantasy about a person. Because everybody that comes into your space then will be a failure. It'll be a wreck if you're not realistic. You'll then bring people into your life that you try to make over and make them be something that they're not, or something that no one can be. So before we ask for anything, we're supposed to do our homework and be sure that we're asking for something realistic, something that actually exists, something that is within the realm of possibility for us to have. No, don't say, well, I'm not going to ask for $1 million because I can't get it. That's crazy. You probably can get it if you did all the things that were required to do. And I'm not talking about lottery tickets either. I mean, if you want to buy them, go ahead and buy them. Other people win, why not you? What I'm saying is that things that are absolutely possible is what we need to make sure that we're praying about. And that's not quite how I wanted to say it. We don't get what we want because we're asking for something that doesn't exist. We're asking for the type of person that doesn't exist. And God, the universe, spirit, cannot bring you that which does not exist. So we need to do our homework. And I really didn't intend to spend that much time on that point, but I have to go with the way the Spirit tells me to go. And I clearly felt Spirit saying, stay right here, because we don't know what we want, and then we go from not knowing to unrealistic. And step 1 and step 2, there's no way God can get involved. No. Why we can't get what we want, why we don't get what we want even when we pray. Number 1, because we don't know. Number 2, because we're asking for something that doesn't exist. I want you to think about that over the week, because I'm pretty sure there are so many people on the line. I'm not doing a count right now, but there are so many people on the line. I just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Don't get upset. Don't get discouraged. I'm going to help you out with this. It ain't that deep. All it is stop, give it some thought, and we can figure this out together. I love you to pieces. Got some great things coming up. I'm excited that you're here. Love you to pieces. See you in the spirit next week. Namaste.